The weeping woman. Last summer, we were staying in a quiet countryside village, the kind of place where time moves slower and the nights are filled with an unsettling stillness. The stars looked close enough to touch, and the silence could drown your thoughts if you let it. It was around 1:30 a.m. when my cousin Ryan and I decided to sneak out of the house. We were 17, curious, reckless, and convinced we were untouchable. We wanted to wander, smoke a few cigarettes, and feel free in the shadows where no one could see us. The village slept deeply, every house dark and still. To avoid being seen, we walked 2 to 3 kilometers into the nearby forest, an area the locals rarely visited at night. As we walked, the air shifted. A soft breeze turned into a warning. Moments later, rain began to fall. First lightly, then violently. A heavy downpour swallowed the trees around us, and in seconds, we were soaked to the bone. We knew running home would only draw attention. We needed shelter. That's when I saw it, about 100 meters ahead, deep in the woods. A faint beam of light coming from a broken window of an old abandoned house. I stopped. Ryan froze beside me. We both knew the place. It had been empty for decades, overtaken by moss and rot. Locals told stories. Strange noises, people disappearing, windows breaking in the night. Most avoided it, even during the day. Ryan wanted to turn back immediately, but I told him it was probably just campers, maybe kids like us, and we were already soaked. Eventually, he gave in. We approached slowly. Each step was heavier than the last. The front door creaked open under my hand, and we stepped inside. The air smelled of mold and decay, but at least it was dry. We stood in what was once a living room, broken furniture, damp wallpaper curling from the walls, and silence. Total silence. Then Ryan tensed beside me.
Do you hear that?
He whispered. I shook my head. Then I listened, and I heard it too. A soft, distant sobbing. Not a child, not an animal. It was a woman, crying. The sound drifted up through the floorboards from the basement. Ryan backed away, but I stepped forward. A strange pull anchored me to the moment. I had to know what was down there. The basement door was half open. The sobbing was louder now. Ryan begged me with his eyes to stop, but I took the first step down. He followed reluctantly. Each step creaked under our weight. The air grew colder, heavier, and the crying. It was clearer, sharper. It wasn't just sadness. It was torment. When I reached the bottom, I turned. Ryan was gone. I was alone, but something in me had already crossed a line. I stepped into the room. It was almost pitch black, except for a flickering oil lantern on the floor. And beside it, a woman, kneeling, back to me. Her hair clung to her pale skin, wet from either tears or blood. I couldn't tell. She rocked slowly, hands in her lap, her sobs soft but endless. Then she stopped. She turned, and I saw her face. Or what was left of it. Dark hollows where eyes should have been. A mouth torn as if it had screamed its last breath. Her skin was split and bruised like old fruit. She looked right at me, and I ran. I don't remember climbing the stairs. I don't remember the door slamming behind me. I just remember the forest swallowing me whole as I sprinted through the rain. Slipping and tripping and gasping for breath. I reached home. Somehow unnoticed. I went straight to bed and pulled the blanket over my head like a child. Ryan wasn't home. Minutes felt like hours. I couldn't stop shaking. Then I heard the door creak. Footsteps. Ryan. He stepped into his room without a sound. When I peeked through the crack in the door, I saw him sitting on the edge of his bed, soaked, staring into nothing. His lips moved, but no sound came out. He hasn't spoken since. Doctors call it psychological trauma. They say he experienced something too intense for his mind to process. But I know the truth. That night, something took his voice. Something from beneath that house. Something ancient and broken and still crying. Even now I hear her in my dreams. The weeping woman, kneeling in the dark, waiting. And sometimes, when I'm alone, I feel her eyes on me again, as if she never left that basement, as if she's still waiting for me to come back. Come to the channel. The full horror awaits.